Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amma ba'd. Honorable Mr. Dr. Imran Khan, distinguished scholars, this audience, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm happy to be part of this distinguished forum in this seminar, which is very important, especially for in the context of Afghanistan. And I'm thankful to the Forum for Educational Policy and Research for holding this talk and this seminar. And I will hope that this series will continue because we need it, especially in South Asia, and more especially in Afghanistan. Actually, whatever I prepared now, I have to badly change it, deviate from what from the paper I have written now, because of in the light of what is mentioned by Mr. Said Hamid. We in Afghanistan actually we face a national crisis, a disaster. What is happening in Afghanistan nowadays? It is a disaster. Well, I mean that what means disaster and what means the crisis in Afghanistan, because the future of Afghanistan is as like an other nation, inseparable from the education of its women. So now in Afghanistan, the millions of girls and women in Afghanistan, they are deprived from your human rights, their Islamic rights, their citizen rights in Afghanistan. So it is a disaster. And if the door of the schools and universities are kept closed in front of the women and the girls in Afghanistan, it means that we are going to face dark ages in Afghanistan. And again, we repeat, dark ages, which happened before centuries in that part of the world. Again, we repeat it in Afghanistan. So it is also a shame for Afghanistan. We are ashamed, actually. Somebody mentioned before the question that what were the effects of the banning the schools in front of the girls, women in Afghanistan. Actually, you are ashamed everywhere, because this is a shame in the face of Afghanistan, in the face of Muslims in Islam, in the face of humanity, that the millions of the half of the population of the country are deprived from their basic rights, which is a basic right everywhere. So this is we are this is when I'm speaking. So therefore, if the doors of universities and schools are not reopened for the women and the girls in Afghanistan, Afghanistan will have a very dark future. So actually, the question is not. I'm not going to, because I have to debate from what is written. Actually, there is this is I think that as long as the supreme leader of Taliban is in power, and also the circle who is related to him, there is no hope. I'm not with Mr. Said, who is saying that there is a hope. No, it is not hope. They are not your Jirga is not the only Jirga. Before you, many Jirgas has gone to Afghanistan, the scholars, even from, I'm a member of the International Union of Muslim Scholars, the very high delegation of the Muslim scholars from internet, from all the part of the world, from the West, from the East, from the Morocco to the Indonesia. They went to Afghanistan, they talked to everyone, to the ministers and to the everybody. Of course, they were faced with good diplomacy and good talks, and you're welcome. And at the end of the day, after 2 years, nothing happened. So it just everybody is talking. We are also talking to them, but those who are in Kabul, they are not. You don't have the power. So therefore, it is not. So therefore, we should not. It is not cultural. When you said about the Helmand, of course, Helmand was you were right. The rate was low, but Helmand was the most. This is the province which engaged in the war. So it was the most dangerous war fighting was going on in the Helmand province. So they are not the parents who was deprived their girls from going to the schools. These were because of the security and also because of the Taliban. They were on power in parts of that province. So to blame the culture, I think it is not, it have to be, it's questionable. It's not a question. Women education is in Afghanistan is not now something new. We have, traditionally before one century, but at least from 1 century from the independence of Afghanistan in 1919, we have schools for the girls in Afghanistan. Continuously we have schools in Afghanistan, even in the Kandahar, in the Helmand, in the South Province, in Paktia, and whatever. So it's not, I think when there may be some families who are not interested to send their girls to the schools, but they are not counted. They are less than 0.0%, nothing they can make. It's not nothing to. So nobody should blame the culture in Afghanistan. Afghanistan people, Afghanistan, they are knowledge living. We have a very, 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 very rich background of civilization in Afghanistan, as you know that. Traditionally, that we have, even before the formal schools we had in Afghanistan, poets and scholars, and have previously in Afghanistan, we have ministers, women ministers, before 60 years. We have ministers, we have professors, we have dean of the faculties, we have ambassadors in Afghanistan, which are women. So how we can blame the culture that everything is put in the culture? The Taliban is, this is the narration of Taliban. They are saying the same. Some of them, one time they say that because of logistics, we don't have money. When the people, all the international community says, okay, Islamic OIC said, this is the money, please. Okay, spend it on the women nutrition. Open the door of the school. They say no, because of the culture. Because I know that even in the eastern province of Kunar, which is a very conservative province in the Kunar province, Said Hamid and colleagues may know this. But I know that from Shigal district, which is on the border of Pakistan, there's 4 grades, 4 generations, 4 batches. They have graduated from the secondary school in Shigal district of Kunar province, which is much maybe conservative than Helmand and Kandahar in Uruzgan. How? So therefore, when my wife say to this, I have to say this is clearly because, and as I have said in the Ministry of Education, I was the advisor of the Ministry of Education. I was part of the member of the Academic Council of the Curriculum Department of the Ministry of Education in Afghanistan. So we were in contact with the ulama scholars in different parts of Afghanistan. So therefore, I think we should not blame the culture. I do acknowledge that there are some families may don't want their kids to go to the schools, if not of girls, but also for the boys the same. But they're not counted. So we cannot, because take all the nation 1990.100 for the few families in Kandahar or Fatwa for Uruzgan or Helmand that they don't want. So we should punish the whole nation and take hostage the 35 million Afghan nation for this. So this should be clear. Okay, I have evidence, data for this, but wait, I think time is not allowing me to go into this. If there was another opportunity, I will explain further, inshallah. The second thing, the religion is not, so the culture should not be blamed. This is the narrative of Taliban. One of the narratives, because they are changing from time to time, and until now, and they didn't give any weak reason why they have closed the doors. They say until the further decision. When before in their first period of the government, 6 years of their first government, they said the same. Till further notice, the doors of the closed. Now they are the same after 3.5 years. They are saying the same. They are not speaking, not talking. Even when some delegations are visiting them, they okay. So yes, we are also worried about this, and this is what concern, and this. We hope that things will change. They did not take the evidence is Dr. Imran, Mr. Chairman, that this is the Taliban authority did not take any step towards curriculum, what they've said, towards the logistics, towards nothing. Instead, the last before 6 months, they have closed all this the medical, the nursing and laboratories and technicians. Also, they closed. Even they are not Taliban are not the authorities not ready to take the exit exam of all those lady doctors, female doctors who are graduated and they have their house job. They complete their house jobs. They need to be in 3 hours exam for exit to be allowed less license for practicing. Taliban are not authorities, not allowing them for 3 hours. Even they come, I told them that please make them to sit in a separate salon, and just take the exam because the country needs the doctor, the female people, mothers are dying. And so therefore, so culture should not be blamed. This is not, and then if I agree with Mr. Sayed that, okay, Helmand is only one province of 34 provinces in Afghanistan. And also, so we cannot, this is, the second thing is that Islam, of course, everybody knows, I'm not going to emphasize on that. Islam is not not be blamed. Even although the Taliban is attributing their wrong decision, depriving the women from going to schools and universities, and it said that it's according to Sharia, everything is Sharia. They are hanging everything to Sharia, Islamic Sharia, which is not true. Islam is seeking knowledge is an obligation on every Muslim. طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم, regardless of their sex. Every Muslim, men and women, male and female, they have to seek the knowledge. This is an obligation. And according to Islamic jurisprudence, this obligation either be farz ayn, which is an individual obligation, like namaz, like salat, like prayer, or maybe it may be farz kifai, which is a common obligation, like namaz janaza, like that. So, and according to this, it's very authentic that nobody has said that. According to this, if you have time, go to the Ihya Ulumuddin by Imam Ghazali. That we say that this is even any knowledge which human are need to that knowledge is farz, wajib. For example, medicine, geometry, mathematics, computer, whatever. So these are farz kifai, or sometimes farz ayn, and sometimes it's farz kifai. So it's totally baseless. It's a joke to say, even it's a joke to say that Islam is depriving women from going to university. The wife of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidah Aisha, and if we ignore the narration, the hadiths which are narrated by al-Mu'minin Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, then the half of the religion will be missed. We don't know how to pray and how to fast. So nobody can say this, that. Even Taliban do not dare to say that Islam is prohibiting. If they can present any evidence, even weak evidence, because there is no evidence at all. So now actually what is going the actual there are many reasons, but the most important reason is this is in the mentality of the leadership of Taliban. The Mawlavi Sahib, which was sitting in the Kandahar, and in the closed circle of this Mawlavi Sahib, the Amir al-Mu'minin of Islamic Imarat in Kandahar, nobody don't know that they will take the decision. They have taken this decision that the school should be open. So the people who are in Kabul, if many delegations they are going and coming, I'm personally talking to many high-level officials of Taliban. I'm in contact with the Ministry of Education. I'm in good contact with them, and But unfortunately, there is no. They don't have the authority. They don't have to do anything. So therefore, we should not deceive ourselves that, okay, and not deceive the international community. And that okay, there is. It's easy that okay, and tomorrow and after tomorrow they will do. So the Afghan nation is dying. Dr. Imran, Afghanistan is dying. This is not easy. If please imagine that if my and your daughter is not going to this school or university for 1 week, what will happen? Now I have two of my daughters. One is medical doctor, and the second is has master degree in finance and economics. They cannot go to Afghanistan just because if they are going, it's difficult for them to go out because of this. Mahram should be in. They cannot do any work, any job. So this is, and I can send my daughters to the inside. So this is what I say, that this is we should be clear in what we say and what we the problem of the woman education is one problem in Afghanistan. Actually, we have many problems. This is we are only the single country in the world which we don't have constitution. How can you imagine that we run a country without constitution? No constitution. There is no rule of law in Afghanistan. We are lawless country. Everything is Sharia. Taliban according to the press release of the Ministry of Justice, they did that they issued that during 3.5 years of their government of Afghanistan, they only had seven laws. So I mean that there Afghanistan, if you want to bring changes in Afghanistan, it is we should address the issue because it is in three circles. One is that it is a human issue. The whole international community should be concerned about what is happening to the women in Afghanistan. This is a cause for everyone, for every human being in the world, regardless of his religion, his political background, language, race, whatever. So to allow the women in Afghanistan and the girls in Afghanistan to go to the schools, this is a human. This is the whole humanity is responsible to pay efforts for that, to try and to find ways how we should prepare the ground for the women and the girls in Afghanistan. They should go to the schools and to the university, and it is okay. The second thing is that the second level, it is a Islamic issue, because in Islamic way it is going on under the name of Islam. And one of my friends, he's a professor in the Virginia in the USA. He's teaching comparative religion. He was saying that in the end of every course, some of my students, especially mostly females, they are asking about Islam, and finally some of them reverting to Islam. But nowadays, after this Taliban decision, I'm quoting him. After this decision, they said no, because if a religion is not allowing women to go to get education, so this is even it is encouraging Islamophobia in the world. So therefore, it is Islamic issue. All Muslim countries, Muslim Ummah, they should try to, by any way that they should support the women in Afghanistan, the girls in Afghanistan, to get education. And this is also important. Islamic issue. So Afghan nation should not be left alone, because Taliban are saying that every foreign that okay, it's our internal issue. Why you are interfering in our internal issue? How is it an internal issue? You are depriving 40 million from 35 to 40 because there is no exact number. We don't know the exact number of the population of Afghanistan. So how you're depriving from 34, half of the 20 millions, 17 millions of human beings from getting education, from getting from working, even from going to the parks, from doing. So what is that? How is it happens? What is this mentality? So the Muslim Ummah is a Muslim everywhere. They have to defend Islam. They say that this is not Islam. And I'm once again in this international forum, I'm clearly, as a student of Islamic Sharia, I clearly say that what is happening to the girls in Afghanistan, this is not Islam, this is not Sharia, this is has nothing to do with Islam and Sharia. So this is the second. And the third circle, of course, the third level, it is the our national issue, because we are facing a national crisis in Afghanistan. So therefore, we have to struggle for this, and we are going to struggle. And also, I'm proud of the Afghan girls and women, because they are trying to, even when this critical in this very bad situation, they're continuing to getting education, even an online basis and even in community levels. They are showing a good sign of resilience in this 3.5 years. And although they are facing many different problems, but of course this is they have the courage, and also they have the resilience to continue to fight for their rights. But yes, okay. There are initiatives, of course, despite these harsh realities, efforts to sustain women's education continue with determination, which is a fundamental community-based education. We have many Afghan women continue their education in secret or pursue it abroad, embodying spirit of to resist against this injustice in Afghanistan. But this is not the way. Even online, we have some Afghan diaspora Afghan communities. They are helping some NGOs. But this is not enough, Dr. Imran, Mr. Chairman. This is not enough, because online education, community education, informal education, they will never take the place of formal education, university schools and universities. So we have to the schools and the doors of schools and universities should be reopened to the girls in Afghanistan. And this will happen. I think this is one the most important. Is a political reform in Afghanistan. We have in Afghanistan needs in this time, not in the area of the women education as a whole in Afghanistan nowadays. After near about 4 years of the Taliban coming back to the power, Afghanistan is in need and urgent national understanding. National understanding. From different political background, different races, from different ethnicities in Afghanistan. This is the national dialogue. Absolutely. We have to initiate for a national dialogue in Afghanistan. This national dialogue should be based on the common national interests, which is not disputable for any Afghan, regardless of his ideology, political background, religion, language. So this dialogue should be initiated. The result, the outcome of this result should be reforms. And the beginning of the reform is coming from the constitution. We have to establish a state. Nowadays, there is in Afghanistan administration, Islamic Emirat. They have administration. They have their de facto government and something. But this is not the state, because as we know all, there is a big difference between the state and the government. There is administration government, but unfortunately there is no state in Afghanistan. We have the elements of establishing the state is there, But unfortunately, there is no state. As long as we are a stateless country, so Afghanistan, if it is a stateless country, you will have nothing. So even this good thing which is in Afghanistan, security, fighting the drugs, this is good. This Taliban is appreciated for this. But this will not sustain. It's not sustainable.
No.
If you know government, no the state, and the state should be based. Mr. Chairman, I want to finish my. If my time is, I have to. How many? How many?
Dr. Wazeen, I think your time, yeah, it's pretty much there. I have questions for you quickly. I know colleagues have suggested I ask you.
Okay, just to conclude, just to conclude, So I said that I will send you the paper, okay? I will send my written paper because I have changed it now. Now what I changed my mind. This is okay. So I'm not going to repeat it. So because some of what I was saying it came to the Mr. Said presentation, okay, should not. So this is, we need a political change, political reform, okay. We don't want the current administration to be coalesced. The coalescence of the government is very deep state in Afghanistan. We have experienced 7 times in Afghanistan in 50 years, which is very dangerous. We want Taliban to stay in power, but we want reforms. The people of Afghanistan, they want reforms, the political reforms, social reforms, economical reforms, educational reforms, and this is based on constitution, a constitution which is acceptable for the whole Afghanistan nation, and will guarantee the rights of access to education for the whole nation of citizens, regardless of their sex, women and female, male and female. And this is from this, so Afghanistan should go to the stability in Afghanistan. Otherwise, if you admonish Taliban, give them wars, dars, lessons, making dua for them, and even do just to beg them, okay, please, Lutfan, please, they are not, it doesn't work. So therefore, we have to struggle, and also there is the national campaign for the women education in Afghanistan going on about 2 years, and we have also have
Dr. Wazeen,
two delegations in Afghanistan before and talk to them.
Sorry, Dr. Wazeen.
So by this, finally, that's okay. With all thanks, that I will request this honorable prestigious forum and seminar that we should, after the seminar, we should think realistically and put to the dots on the words and address the issue seriously, that finally the Afghan women and girls, they have their right to get education, inshallah ta'ala. We are struggling and fighting for this, struggling for this, inshallah. And I'm hopeful that after that, something will happen, inshallah ta'ala. Thank you very much.
Dr. Wazeen, thank you very much for that. Well, it was a passionate. Yep. Sorry. It was a passionate. Yes, please, Dr. Wazeen. We will hopefully, as soon as our website is up, we'll be taking abstracts from all colleagues, and they'll be available for our students, everybody to read, inshallah, to download. Now, Dr. Wazeen obviously presents a, I wouldn't say a counter narrative to Said, but it's a narrative which sits along what Said is obviously researching. So from our perspective as researchers, as scholars, as students, we can clearly see the divergences which are at play within the Afghan context and why we have the state we have. Obviously, with regards to the banning of female education, yes, there are elements involved culturally, religiously, historically, traditionally. Dr. Wazeen is however arguing that we need to really focus in on the Taliban itself and maybe their mindset and their decision-making process, which obviously involves sort of looking and examining their own personalities, characteristics, and what agenda they're being driven by. And I think we can all take what Dr. Wazeen's really highlighting or hinting at is a direct examination of the internal workings of the Taliban and what they're ultimately trying to achieve with that country and who's really behind that power, I think is really the underlining question. Now, we have many questions for Dr. Wazeen. Dr. Wazeen, we have a lot of questions for you. They're in the chat. I'm not going to ask you now. I'm going to hold them to the end. Is that okay? So we can address them all at one point, because there's 4 or 5 questions which are all at one point, and I think it'll be wonderful if I can give them to you together at the end when we discuss in a panel. Is that okay for you? Or, yeah, that works.
Okay.
SubhanAllah. And he'll give you time to kind of look over them. So brilliant questions. I think questions by Arid Shokat, Fiza Babar. It says Kurut Lane. And a few more I think I've missed out somewhere. So yeah, few questions that have come in specifically for Dr. Wazeen relating to how can we then impact policy change in Afghanistan? How can we change that narrative and context? And Dr. Wazeen obviously addressed that in terms of our continued work.
But I have to say one thing, Dr. Imran. Okay, now there are a lot of talks about the cultural, religious barriers. Okay, but can anyone give me a single data which based on research, okay, field research, questionnaires, asking the people, and that, for example, to ask the parents from different provinces, do you want to send your, do you favor the girls' education or not? Okay. Nothing. So if anyone make, I request, I suggest to your forum, which is educational for policy making, if we come to be very certain results that, okay, we said how many percentage of the Afghan nation they refuse girls' education. Then we have different provinces. I know in Uruzgan province, in Paktia province, one father, he was.
Dr. Wazeen, I think we'll bring this point in at the end, because just for the time issue at the moment. But it's an excellent point you're making. It's something for us to look at, and this is where research is lacking. And I think what you're saying is there's research lacking. Go and get the facts, and then the argument becomes more complete. I completely concur with your point.